Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, it's time for a high proof weeder.
Yes, let's do it. We've got BAM Larceny Barrel Proof C-923. Well, it's the end of the year.
It's October as we film this.
Yeah, the last batch of the end of the Larceny and Elijah Craig calendar year is when the
So you're saying the rest of the year just sucks, it's over?
Well, I mean, just for these two bourbons in particular. Okay. We recently did the Elijah Craig C-923.
And everybody absolutely loved that review, linked in the screen.
Completely agreed with everything we said about it, so let's see what happens with this one.
Yeah, that's right, you can only go...
Larceny C-923 comes in at 126.4 proof. Mm-hmm. These are kind of like the baby brother to the...
Do you think so?
Elijah, yeah, they don't get as much
they definitely...
of the love as the Elijah Craig does. It's not aged 12 years. Well, neither is Elijah Craig at this point anymore.
And Larceny didn't invent bourbon.
That's true, yeah. This guy just stole it.
That's right, just borrowed it.
But I always actually really like these, you know, and especially for the closer to a $60.
So we've been doing reviews for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think our opinion at the very beginning was really low. And we had like maybe a poor experience. And it was us, maybe flavor profile wise, the first time we had one, we thought, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
But then since then, for the last 3 years,
it was just that video, because I went back to that bottle and killed the bottle over the course of the next year. And it was just that review.
But in my mind, they're still not great. You know?
Really?
Even though we've done reviews where they're getting better, and I think the last one was amazing.
Yeah.
So I have very high expectations of this one.
I like all of them.
Okay.
Really, really bold nose here. That just kind of has everything you want in a bourbon, in my opinion.
The first note I got was that pink bubble gum tape.
Yeah.
Like the white powder on it. Like,
yeah, it's definitely got that.
I get that on weeders occasionally.
Yeah, which I really enjoy, but it also has those really deep, rich caramels and kind of brown sugars and stuff.
It does prompt the question, why don't they make bourbon-flavored gum?
That would be amazing. I would chew that all day long.
All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Survey says...
That's great. I love that. This one, we recently did a review where we kind of talked about the difference between...
Quick side note, I love it too. So,
okay,
back to you.
We recently did a review where we kind of talked about the difference between a premium bourbon drinking experience, and it's that viscosity and the mouthfeel.
Yes.
And how kind of thick and oily the bourbon is.
It's the experience. It's not just what it tastes like, but how it looks in the glass, how it coats your tongue.
Yeah. And this one, I think, has that.
It really does.
Maybe more so than I remember some of the other batches. Now, it's hard to go back and, you know, if you haven't had one for a while, just by memory.
We need to do the flight of them to compare.
And like I said, I've liked all of these. I'm a fan of Larceny Barrel Proof. But this one in particular, just that really oily viscosity is great.
So I do have an observation, and it's not a complaint. It's very sweet, but it's almost like the sweetness is turned up to 8 as opposed to 11.
Okay.
So it's really sweet from the start all the way to the finish, which is a bit unique, I think. But it's not so over the top sweet that it's, you know.
And you and I tend to lean towards the sweeter bourbons.
Yes, and I think some people don't.
Yeah.
And so hearing that it's sweet, it would be a negative for some people, but it's not so sweet that it, like, you know, it's not like sweet tea kind of sweet.
I think, you know how like some candies will go for like a sweet and salty vibe?
Okay.
I think this kind of has that in bourbon terms where I agree with you. Like this isn't like just over the top in your face, you know, baking sweetness, like, you know, like your vanillas and your caramels. It's got all of those, but I agree with you. It's not turned up to 11. But what it does have is that it's got all those nice sweet notes. I'm getting a bit of nuttiness on it as well. And then it has just a really nice oak spice. I think the barrel influence on this one is really well balanced.
Yeah. And what also comes through, wheaters, the more bourbon I've had, it's hard for me to describe what a wheater is, because in my mind it should taste one way, and it doesn't taste what my mind thinks it should. It's still spicy. It's similar to a rye in some aspects.
Well, you got the dominant corn.
Yeah, but
and so you're always going to get that the most.
Yeah.
You know. But you would think, like, wheaters, I think, like, they have the reputation for being sweeter, softer profile. We've talked about that before.
But they still have a kick.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do still have a nice spice to them.
Yeah.
Not a rye spice, but I think maybe with a wheater, maybe the barrel spice and the oak spice kind of shines through a little bit more.
Yeah, right. Because it drinks quality, but not anywhere near over-oaked or, like, super high age.
Well, for the love of God, don't say something's approaching over-oaked.
No, I'm saying
or you'll get shredded in the comments.
That's right. Some people think that's when it just gets started, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a reference to a previous video. If you know, you know. But yeah, this is really good.
It is
I'm
really
really loving this. And trying to remember back to the
I know
previous
we
batches.
really like the B523.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that's going to be a heck of a flight. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm almost willing, since you bought all 6 of them,
do a 6 flight the last 2 years?
No, I was thinking these 3, so the 23 A, B, and C, 23 Larcenys versus the A, B, and C
Elijah Craig. Ooh.
And pick one winner. Like,
we'll lose subscribers during that one for sure. Because we'll probably pick wrong according to the internet.
Kidding. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I think the only problem that we have with that is if we do all 6 of them, even in the same day,
well, okay,
your palate's going to get blown out drinking
So
that
how about the
many
3
casks.
Larcenys? We do a 3 blind flight, and you pick your favorite Larceny, and I pick my favorite Larceny, and then we do the same thing with Elijah Craig.
Okay.
And then we do the 2, 1 Larceny winner versus 1 Elijah Craig.
Or maybe we have a different winner in each category, so we might have 4 to do for the final flight. Like maybe I'll pick the B523,
sure.
you'll pick the C5, C923.
Yeah.
And then so we could, that's a great idea. So upcoming, we'll do the individual flight of Larcenys for the end of the year.
Okay.
We'll do the individual flight of Elijah Craig's, and then we'll do a battle royale.
Yeah, okay. Larceny versus Elijah Craig.
I am looking forward to this because I'm a fan of all of them.
2023.
Yeah, but this, in short, this is fantastic. This is 100% recommend, especially, I got this for $60.
$60. That's the cool thing. Elijah Craig's are creeping up in price. This one,
they're also,
and obviously,
they run around the 12 year. This last one was 13. The previous one was just under 12. So you're going to pay a premium for that, which is still a great value.
And in Minnesota, they're not impossible to find, but you have to work a little bit.
A little bit, but they've gotten easier.
Okay.
For a while there, the Larcenys
certain places
were never
around the
around.
country, they just don't see them, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is 100% recommend. I love the Larceny barrel proofs, but that, again, is just me. If you like these in general, I think you're going to love this batch.
I would
I
agree.
will say that.
Yep.
If you're not a fan of them in general, maybe give this batch a try, see if it changes your mind.
Totally agree.
All right, well, this has been Larceny Barrel Proof C923 on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.